Today, the FDA acts against companies illegally selling cancer treatments. An FDA clearance on a second scalp cooling system, promising phase 3 trials in breast cancer, and early findings with immunotherapy in liver cancer. Welcome to OncLive News Network. I'm Dr. Roy Herbst of the Yale Cancer Center. The FDA has posted warning letters to 14 U.S.-based companies that were found to be illegally selling more than 65 products that fraudulently claim to prevent, diagnose, treat, and cure cancer. The products were marketed and sold without FDA approval and most often on websites and social media platforms. These include pills, topical creams, ointments, oils, drops, syrups, teas, and diagnostics. The FDA has required responses from each of the companies with information on how they will correct the violations. If they do not, the agency says it will pursue legal action such as product seizure, injunction, and or criminal prosecution. This latest batch of warning letters adds to the FDA's more than 90 letters in the past 10 years to companies marketing hundreds of fraudulent products that make cancer claims on websites, social media, and even in retailers. For patients with breast cancer undergoing chemotherapy, the FDA has cleared the Paxman scalp cooling system for hair loss, making it the nation's second cooling cap commercially available. Over the next year, Paxman plans to install 250 systems across the United States and will work with many cancer centers and large community-based practices. The clearance is based on findings of a multi-center prospective study of 186 women with stage 1 and 2 breast cancer, in which the cold cap preserved hair in more than 50% of women who used it, versus 0% in the control group. The trial was conducted at 7 sites across the United States between December 2013 and September 2016. In December 2015, the DigenCap cooling system was the first to be given clearance by the FDA. ASCO has issued updated guidance on the use of second-line hormonal therapy for chemotherapy-naive patients with castrate-resistant prostate cancer. The provisional clinical opinion addresses patients who are asymptomatic, with only biochemical evidence of castrate-resistant prostate cancer, as well as those who have documented metastases and minimal symptoms. Prior guidelines have not addressed second-line hormonal therapy for patients with non-metastatic castrate-resistant prostate cancer or for those who are chemotherapy naive. The new recommendation reflects the findings of several recent clinical trials, which have shown that second-line hormonal treatments, such as abiraterone, acetate, and enzalutamide, impede cancer growth, extend survival, and provide meaningful improvement in quality of life for these patients. Some of the recommendations include, for patients who develop castrate-resistant prostate cancer despite receiving castrate levels of testosterone, a castrate state should be maintained indefinitely. Prostate-specific antigen levels should be key to determining second-line treatment. For chemotherapy-naive patients with M0 castrate-resistant prostate cancer who have a high risk of developing metastases, second-line hormonal therapies may be offered following discussion with a patient about the limited scientific evidence, potential harms, benefits, cost, and patient preferences. These therapies can include anti-androgens or CYP17 inhibitors. For chemotherapy-naive patients with M0 castrate-resistant prostate cancer who are at a low risk of developing metastases, second-line hormonal therapy is not suggested. ASCO added that second-line hormonal treatment should be offered for chemotherapy-naive men who develop castrate-resistant prostate cancer and have radiographic evidence of metastases, because these agents significantly increase radiographic progression-free survival and overall survival. Palliative care should also be offered. In breast cancer, the addition of abemaciclib to letrozole or anastrozole improved progression-free survival versus either aromatase inhibitor alone in women with hormone receptor-positive, HER2-negative disease. The findings were from the phase 3 Monarch 3 study, which is the second phase 3 trial of the CDK4/6 inhibitor to demonstrate a PFS improvement in this patient population. Detailed Monarch 3 results will be presented at a medical meeting later this year, according to Eli Lilly and Company, the manufacturer of abemaciclib. Additionally, the company plans to submit these results, as well as those from the Monarch 1 and 2 trials, to the FDA. Results of the Monarch 2 study showed that combining abemaciclib with fulvestrant extended PFS versus fulvestrant alone in patients who progressed during or within 1 year of receiving endocrine therapy in the neoadjuvant or adjuvant setting, or during frontline endocrine treatment for metastatic disease. Finally, early phase findings demonstrated that sorafenib-experienced patients with advanced hepatocellular carcinoma had long-term responses to the PD-1 inhibitor nivolumab of more than 1 year. The findings from the CheckMate 40 trial were presented at the 2017 International Liver Congress. At a median follow-up of 12.9 months, the objective response rate by blinded independent central review was 14.5%, and the overall response rate was 19.3% by investigator assessment. Response is currently ongoing in 71.4% of the patients, and the median duration of response was not reached. Moreover, the 12-month overall survival rate was 59.9%, and median overall survival was 16.7 months. That's all for today. Thanks for watching OncLive News Network. I'm Dr. Roy Herbst.